All right, so it's kind of cliche, and I usually never ask this question, but I want to talk a little bit about the band name, just because you guys, this is your first interview. So where did the band name Noble come from? How did you guys kind of start this project with that band name being a foundation for the future of your band?
We had like a bunch of different ideas for names, but we definitely wanted something like either one word or two like small words like combined, or two, just something two-syllable, something strong and something easy to remember. So we had like a couple ideas going around, and we actually released a teaser video, and we weren't sure if we were going to call like the EP, the album, or the band. Dead Set was one of them, and it turned out that there was like, you know, a band from Colorado that, you know, like they were like recently like on the up and coming that like kind of had that name, because nowadays you type in anything and it's a band already. Yeah. So
kind of interviews.
It's a style band too, so it was just kind of like, oh yeah, all right.
Yeah, because they were kind of in the same genre, I guess. Yeah. But we had a bunch of other ideas, and then somehow like when we released the teaser, somebody figured out like who everyone was in the band on Reddit, which was random. And our drummer Zach's like really into Reddit for some reason. I've never met anyone else that's into Reddit.
I've never heard of Reddit until you brought it up.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. But one of the comments was, you know, like it listed all the members in the band and like the bands that they're in. And then one of the comments was, dang, like this band's full of nobility or something like that. And then we were like, oh, Noble is kind of a cool band name. And we wanted a name too that like didn't hinder the band in any way. Because like, you know, like bands like Dying Fetus and Cannibal Corpse and stuff, like
band from the House of Blues, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's kind of like one of those things where, I mean, they're great bands, don't get me wrong, but they're kind of stuck in that realm because like, you know, you can't put out stuff like a full singing song with the band name Cannibal Corpse or anything like that, you know.
So. Chocolate Starvation Hot Dog Flavored Water. That was my first go for the band name, and Jeff was down, but
I'm always down.
Copyrights, I think it
just legal issues.
Well, for people that don't know, that are watching this interview, what bands are you guys comprised of? You guys are pretty much a super band, and so just tell people like where you all come from and the past bands that you guys were affiliated with.
Yeah, so I was in a band called At the Skylines. That was, you know, what I've been kind of did before this. We have Zach, who was in Oh Sleeper, and how that kind of came about was me and Zach used to tour together, or Zach and I, sorry, used to tour together, and as like things kind of just came down the road, Zach actually came across and you know, played in At the Skylines with me for a little while we were going to put out some new music. You know, like I said, that kind of fizzled out. You know, we went separate ways, and you know, when Jeff had approached me with that, he, you know, we came up and he ended up becoming, you know, really interested in playing for Noble, so that's how that worked. And then we have Scott and Sean, who were in Fear and Faith, so that's where they come from. Also, Sean was in Attack, touring with them for a while after that as well, and that's where actually they all come from. And then Jeff over here from Confide. Yeah.
So were you the person that kind of like made this whole thing happen? Were you the catalyst?
I guess you could say that.
Don't be all modest now. Go ahead. Let's just be free.
So I just kind of started writing music again, like randomly. You know, some of my friends like kind of like pushed me to do it, and I didn't know like what was gonna come of it. So I had some ideas. I went down to record with Joel. And I knew Sean, who used to be in Fear and Faith and Attack, really well. He lives in Santa Monica, really close to me. And we've actually, for like the last couple years, shared gear together, like all the time, because like in Fear and Faith had a reunion show, and then Confide did like reunion tours and stuff. And we don't keep like the huge rigs that we used to when we used to be full-time touring bands anymore, because we don't have anywhere to store it or anything like that, you know? So we used to like share gear all the time. So before I went to the studio, I went and borrowed some of his gear. Then went down to the studio, and then me and Joel's who I recorded with just because we've written so many songs together. He used to drum and Confide. I was just comfortable with him. We kind of wrote the first 3 songs that came back up, and Sean wanted to hear the songs, and he heard them, and he was like, so are we doing this or what? And I was like, yeah, man, like, sure, you can be in the band. And then with him came Scott as well, and Scott didn't want to do like frontman or anything like that. He just wanted to do something different. Like he wanted to play an instrument and just like, you know, sing every now and then. And then we were looking for a drummer and a frontman for a while. We went through like a couple like pretty notable like drummers and things like that, but just none of them like really. I wanted someone to come in and just like blow me away, kind of, you know. And so then I saw him post a Facebook status randomly.
Tim just like reaching out like to everybody, yo, I'm just, you know, sitting here with, you know, twiddling my thumbs, you know, trying to play music again, like nothing seems to be working out. And then all of a sudden I get this message from Jeff. He's like, hey bud, you want to play some music and come jam? And I was like, yep. Yeah, and that's just kind of happened. And then he's like, we need a drummer, though. And I was like, I got you, man. We're going to talk to Zach. And I told Zach, and Zach was like, yep. And then, you know what I mean? We all got together. We did a little hug in our chonies, you know what I mean? And then it was just, that was it, huh?
Yeah. I blacked out at that point. I don't remember what happened.
Dude, but you look good in your Gucci chonies, let me tell you.
I do.
You do.
How long has this been in the works for? I mean, when did this start and up till now? I mean, how long has it been?
Since I've came on board in Zach, I'd say about 6 months now, right? Is that about accurate?
Yeah, maybe a little more.
A little more, yeah. We were just playing around with a lot of things, going in the studio, kind of just figuring out what direction we wanted to go in. You know, we were trying to, you know, we have a lot of different, you know, people in this band from different types of, you know, same genre of music, but, you know, completely different style. You know, O Sleeper is completely different from, you know, and Fear and Faith, you know, and vice versa and all that kind of stuff. So we kind of just wanted to put our heads together, and we all kind of decided, like, hey, we want to keep it, you know, in your face, you know, and that's a thing that I feel like, especially for me, is what I wanted to do, is because, you know, not a lot of people are doing that anymore. They're like swaying away from that and kind of just, you know, getting older. We understand that. We still want to, you know, keep a mature vibe to it, but we just wanted to have fun, you know, first and foremost. And a lot of people were just trying so hard to make themselves grow instead of it naturally happening. And we were just like, you know, let's just be heavy and have fun and just, you know what I mean, like put out a bunch of energy and just, you know, hopefully people can grab onto that and see what, you know, what we're trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With recording, you said Joel recorded all of this, everything you guys have up this to this far.
Yeah, pretty much. Joel's been like the main guy that we're working with. I think Matt.
Yeah, Matt Geisey from Lower Definition. I worked with him recording vocals and stuff like that, so it was nice to do that. So
yeah, so he's done a little bit of vocal work, but pretty much most of it has been Joel.
Yeah, so was it kind of like, did he have a lot of input for you guys? Because I know like a lot of people can't just like record and not say anything. So did he have some input in writing and anything like that?
Not necessarily. Like he definitely like, as far as the music portion goes, like he definitely played like kind of the producer role. Because like I said, like when I went down there, like I had an idea of what I kind of wanted like the songs and the heavy parts to sound like and stuff. But he's always been the way me and him have always worked together, writing songs even back in Confide. Like I'm pretty good at like coming up with the songs and like the ideas, and he's really good at just getting them out of me. Kind of. I don't know if that's like a weird way of saying it, but it just. He was like the perfect guy to go to just because it was natural. It was like, dude, I really don't know what this is going to sound like. I have a 7-string tuned in drop F. I've never played anything this low. Like I'm just figuring it out as I go right now. And then Mark came in too. And, you know, obviously we changed parts and stuff and made things a little heavier, some things a little softer, just whatever fit, you know. And we're just like, I don't think we're really trying to overthink it. Like I don't think we're trying to necessarily break the mold, because I feel like a lot of bands get lost when they try and do that, or like they try just too hard. We just kind of let it come out, you know.
So anything that you guys intentionally had in mind when you went in the studio? I mean, it kind of sounds like it was just like, let's write some heavy, energetic stuff. Is that pretty much it, or?
In a sense, yeah. I think that also I had it like I want to take like my vocal style into the next, you know, step of just more of like I don't know, like kind of like just like almost like a transition into singing. You know, I know we have Scott to like kind of lay down those, you know, killer, you know, hooks and all that, but I think that we're trying to keep it mature in the sense that we're also, you know, we've grown so much since our previous bands, like, but at the same time we want to stick to our roots. So that's kind of like the idea that we've had, like, is just you know, making it a more mature sounding, you know, heavier, you know, bleh. Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, how does this work overall compare to your previous bands? Like, for you guys, at least?
What's been different for me is I've usually, you know, when I was working at the Skylines with Sean Yates, he would just completely just write everything out, and he would just say, hey, this is this, you know, throw these vocals on there. Which has been really cool about Jeff and I is, you know, he'll write some killer stuff, and then, you know, I'll come, you know, to his spot, and we'll just kind of like, you know, I'll throw him my ideas, like, hey, I had this kind of idea, why don't we do that? And then he takes that to the next level, because he'll go in with Joel, and, you know, and then, you know, he's like, hey, hold on, I got you, you know, and I'll come in the studio, and I'm just like, wow, like, it just like every time it just gets better and better, and that's something that's been a lot different, I feel like, personally for myself in the recording and writing process is You know, Jeff never disappoints in that aspect, which is awesome.
Aw.
And I have caused a lot of stress on him. I'm like, nah,
yeah.
dude, chase this. She's like, dude, you need to stop being a diva singer and just throw vocals on it, all right? And you know, that's been my biggest thing too. Is like I've always just been like, I'm not 100% in it, but Jeff's like pushed me to be like, yo, dude, just throw something on there, and you know what I mean? Like,
Just
roll
try
with
it.
Just
Just
try
try
it.
it.
Exactly. You know, like
try it.
stop being so stubborn and just try it. And I'm like, okay. And I try something. He goes, see, I told you. And I'm like, dude, you're right. So we've worked really well together so far. It's been pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
And for you, Jeff?
I mean, for me, like, the way that I approach songwriting and everything is I don't really try and overcomplicate things and stuff, which I think he's on board for, because I feel like there's a lot of bands, especially in the metal genre, that like are just all about, you know, riffs and kind of shredding and stuff, which is rad, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love that stuff, but I mean, vocals are like such a key part of everything, and I'd rather write songs that kind of leave some space open for the vocals to be more creative, or just write better hooks and everything like that, than to write some weird like time signature riff that's like, I mean, like, I can't write songs like Meshuggah. That's like not my alley. Like I grew up listening to like Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit and stuff, like, and like just total Slipknot, new metal head.
POD.
Yeah,
that even started.
absolutely.
You know what I just found out today? You know, POD actually did the Rey Mysterio intro walkout song, that 619, because like I just like realized that. Like I was listening to it and it was like, I don't know if you heard that booyaka booyaka 619. Ever heard that?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
POD, man. I didn't even know that. Yeah, it's rad.
Legendary.
You learn something new every day.
619, man. Shoot.
All right, well, lastly, guys, when can fans expect more than just the single that you have out right now? And will it be released via label or independent?
We're still kind of figuring that stuff out. This Sunday, we're going to the studio to film we're going to the studio to record another song, and also we're doing another music video that day too to release with another song, because we want to do something visual with our first couple releases and everything, because I don't know, I just think that's the smartest way to do it, you know, instead of just like putting a link up to like SoundCloud or something like that, you know. So we have another music video. We have a bunch of songs done, actually. We have a lot of material and stuff, so the label thing, it's a possibility right now.
We're kind of shooting to finish 3 songs, and I think put them out is what we kind of talked about, and then kind of go from there. Whether, you know, we see like whether or not we're going to continue to DIY it and just kind of push to writing and keeping that, or, you know, if something comes along with, you know, label-wise, we'll go from there. But I think that right now we just want to get kids excited, keep like having that, you know, energy rolling as well. You know, release another song, you know, a couple weeks or, you know, down the road, and just see where it takes us from there. Like we're just along for the ride. I think at this point we don't want to overcomplicate things, like Jeff said, and just we want to have fun, but we also know that, you know, that also takes certain kinds of things to be in place. So like I said, we're just gonna try to do our best to, you know, make the best decision and roll with the punches.
All right, guys. Well, be on the lookout for that new music coming out with visuals, I'm sure, in the near future. Well, thank you again for sitting down with me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, Kime Interview signing out. Later, guys.